Hey everyone, welcome back to an exciting episode of Attack on Protection. Today I'm Bancroft, being joined by Jimmy and, like always, Fluff.
Howdy.
What up, people?
And today we're going over our second round at our local tournament this past weekend, where I was playing a mono red pan deck, and Jimmy was playing the Siege deck.
Siege deck, yes.
For those who don't recognize, the leader is definitely Oryx and Capital.
Yeah, that's who it is. It's the new Battle Pass skins. That's what it is.
Yeah, yes, that'd be so awesome, actually.
Like, I'm already like a fledgling Oryx main. I would 100% main Oryx if he had a Dark Broly skin.
I would probably actually buy an epic skin. But with that being said, thank you all tuning in. Hope you all enjoy our content. Like always, comment, buttons, clicking, likes, and subscribes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this is actually our second duel. We heavily emphasized on the idea of reading your cards, and Jimmy messed up in the first duel, so we had to redo it. And you're going to notice, hey, peppermint gummies, which were very interesting.
Even judges mess up sometimes.
For sure. Yeah. So in my original build of this deck, I was running a different set of unisons, and I got very used to just doing the unison skill of pulling cards back to my drop area, and there's no restrictions on them other than black battle cards. And when I was like, okay, I'm going to take those out, and I'm just going to play Dark Broly just straight, I forgot that it specifies a 30,000.
Okay.
So every time that I was pulling cards back to my warp, or from my warp to my drop area, I was just grabbing 3 random cards. Which in our first matchup before this one, we ended up just restarting because we were too deep into it. There was a couple times that I played cards that I wouldn't have been able to if I hadn't pulled back those 3 cards. So we just restarted and played it straight.
And this is where the fun begins.
Yeah. So I sat down at the table, and I wish we could have used my original reaction of sitting down and Bancroft put Pan in the battle area or in the leader area, and I was like, "What fucking year is it? Like, what is going on?"
So story time. Actually, I'll let Bancroft talk his turn, and then story time.
Yeah. So turn 1, you tap 1 red energy, use the activate main on the 2-drop, hit a life. Because of that, I'm able to play Bardock. Pan's effect goes off at +1, but I'm also able to play Tambourine and Drum, I think his name is, by discarding a card from my hand. So now my hand is 1 card.
Yeah. So this was like kind of a scary start to the game, because I'm tapped out. I put 1 card in the battle area, and then you're like, "Hey, here's an entire field of double strikes and crits."
Yeah. And to be told, I should have swung the double strike first, right there. In our first game, I got Jimmy down to 2 life on turn 1.
Yeah. Like, and I think this, I was talking to Bancroft before, I think this is a good example of keeping your cool under aggro. And black is not a very, very defensive color. It usually tends to be either aggro or mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
And Dark Broly is kind of weird in that it thrives in the late game. Yeah. So against early aggro like this, it becomes very difficult to play. And you put me in a weird position, because normally I like to be able to fill up my drop area with 30Ks, but you forced me to awaken on your first turn.
Yeah.
So I only got to proc my... Yeah, like, that's crazy. Like, and a lot of decks that actually would be pretty good being able to awaken that quickly, but with Dark Broly, I want to be able to proc my my front side ability multiple times.
Yeah.
And here I'm just dropping for the Toei Unison, which Toei Unison is just kind of crazy. I really love it. Yeah, and I can't attack because it doesn't have 3 markers on it.
And this is the greatest way of countering this aggro deck. Instead of doing what people would probably do, go for, just like hit the leader a little bit, you kept your cool and you just took care of all my battle cards.
Yeah. So Once you like exploded on that turn, I kind of took a pause and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna look at what I have in my hand and I need to plan out my turns very, very well.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, you have 1 card in hand, I have 4 life. Unless you just get God Draw, you are not going to be able to deal 4 damage to me next turn with using your leader and like 1 battle card alone.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to clear the board. How am I going to do that? Let's just swing into it because I know you're not going to try to protect that. And if you do, like, I'll just drop Broly, swing into it, and then, warp off of Broly's skill.
And then you didn't swing into him.
Yeah, you almost did. And you decided not to in the last second because my hand was 1 card.
Yeah. I don't want to give you unnecessary amounts of cards because I don't want you to explode like that again.
Yeah. So here I'm just doing what I can, knowing that I won't have a hand because we've already played 1 game. I know what to expect. So I'm like, I'm going to play every card I possibly can. Just swing.
Yeah.
And just try to pick at you. But before we go any further, Fluff, story time?
Story time. So we're approaching the tournament, and I had asked Bancroft probably 8 times this week, hey, man, what are you playing on Saturday? And he's like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I was like, okay, cool. You got a week. A day later, hey, man, did you figure out what you're playing this weekend? Nah, I'll figure it out. Okay, man, you've got D&D tonight. Like, we'll figure it out later. And then just so on and so forth, and it's just taking down. So we get to Saturday. Hey, man, did you figure out what you're playing tonight? No, I'll figure it out. The tournament's in like 2 hours. Yeah, I know. I'll figure it out. And so he's like, but I got to go home and like finish editing a video real quick. And I was like, well, hey, can I like come over and help you build something? Like the tournament starts soon. If you're editing, you might not have time to build. And I was like, I don't want you to have to like play something again if you don't want to. And he's like, yeah, build something. I was like, what? He's like, I don't know. He's like, build a mono red deck or build a, what did you say? You said Overwhelm Zerg or something like that.
I was like, build a, I don't know, an Overwhelm deck. Mono red pan, I guess we could do that. Or maybe a skillless yellow deck.
Yeah. Yeah, you were like yellow kid too. And so I was like, okay, I think a red pan recently topped, didn't it? Like pan is supposed to be decent right now. Not great, obviously, but I was like, what can we do with Draft Box 6 stuff, highlighting that since that's the most recent. We haven't got our expansion sets in. So I was like, okay, what can we do? So I'm looking through Draft Box 6 and I'm like, wow, this King Piccolo stuff looks really good with like the Slug Unison and the Piccolo Unison. And so like I just threw it together and like it took me forever to find the Yamcha Merciless Barrage. But so I didn't really get a chance to test hands and theorize like theorycraft how it would have gone. So I'm sorry that you lost your hand.
Well, so what I learned is it's a great turn 1 opener. It really is, especially if you combine it actually with the Burnhan leader instead, because it's just 1 extra damage you can do to your opponent. But against a deck that can slowly, like Jimmy hasn't brought it out yet, but against a deck that can constantly remove a card from your hand, it hurt. Yeah. Like I just couldn't play anything to.
I just want to put out here that I did kind of do this backwards. I should have played out the Broly, then swung with Gravy to pull some more cards back. I was just getting to in my head about how the order that I was going to play things in.
Yeah.
And so also, I did find that kind of funny that you're just like, drum.
I mean, I got to do whatever I can just to get a hit in.
Yeah.
Because I know eventually you have the Demigrass, and if you're able to bring them out on me, those cards are going to be gone.
Yeah. I think when I walked up to the table after finishing my round 2 match, I walked up to the table and I was like, Jiminy Cricket, what did I walk up on here? Like, it was just the most one-sided thing that I ever had seen. And it was like, how in the fuck is Bancroft still alive with Jimmy's Field looking like it does? And I understand now. Because
I think you walked up and Bancroft was like at 6 life. And I was at 4, and he had no cards on field and 1 card in hand. And you were like, what happened?
I don't know if that's this game or the other game, but like I walked up on the field and it I didn't sit to tally, but it felt like there were like 4 Demigra, like like 13 brawlies. I'm like, how in the fuck are you even playing 13 brawlies? Like it was like Tien and Brawly had a baby and just multiplied. Like that's what it felt like just walking up on it. And then I immediately felt bad because I was like, yeah, I could have probably put Draw Apes in that. But I specifically didn't put Draw Apes in there because Bancroft doesn't like them.
I don't think it would have helped.
Yeah. I don't know if it would have helped either.
Yeah. I mean, if Jimmy discards them, you get to draw 2.
And that was me forgetting to put my marker on when he was KO'd.
And it's not just discarding it; he's warping my cards from my hand.
He's warping from hand.
Yeah. So, and Jimmy's first couple of turns was a smart play. Like he didn't want to give me extra resources, so he knew he could handle my hand while giving me the resources, which is why he waited for Demigra to start hitting into my life. But I'm still 8 life.
Yeah. So if you don't know what Demigra does, when he comes in, he draws a card, warps a card on field, and then every time he attacks, your opponent warps a card from their hand. Yeah. So basically, I'm basically just trading the card in your hand for 1 card in your life. And that was my goal overall, was to just keep your hand down at 1. And I wanted to establish a board of the big Broly's so that when I decided to go in, I can just, I can go all out and have them all on board and don't have to worry about trying to piece out my drop area to get them out there.
Oh my God. Bancroft just had to pay 3 for a King Piccolo.
Yeah. I think this was the in the actual audio, you were like, Jesus Christ, Bancroft, because I was just every turn bringing out another double strike or something.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you playing? Like, I was sitting there, I was like, this is the most Bancroft deck, and now hearing that Fluff built it, I just don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what to do. Like, it is ridiculous.
And the reason I'm not signaling the lead is because I don't get draws. So,
Bancroft, I think you should have boarded that Bardock. You should have paid 3 for the Bardock because at least when he activates Power Burst, it restands.
I don't. Did I have a Bardock in my hand?
Yeah, you have a Bardock in hand.
I got it from the draw off pan.
You did. Okay. Well, you're not going to get to play it now because Jimmy's going to be like, "Rip."
Yeah, no, and truth be told, like, actually, to quote Jimmy, I'll be kind and give you a card. But you were just going to set up your drop area to play another Demigra.
Yeah, dude, that Demigra being Dark Overrealm and Overrealm is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to put that on field for so cheap is absurd. Like, it does so much for so little. Like, I don't think it's broken by any means. I don't think it needs any sort of fixing. I don't think a lot of cards in the game right now that people are complaining about need fixing, but like, it's just so good.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like the only card from Draft Box 6 we didn't get. We didn't pull 1 out of and I just didn't want to buy them because they're so expensive.
Yeah. I just got super lucky. I pulled 3 from my various boxes.
All right. So truth be told, we're in the 13.5-minute mark of the duel, and I'm actually at the point where I'm like, whatever. And if you notice, when you swung with the Demigra, I just discarded a card and immediately took a card from my life. Didn't even give me a chance to come like, okay, no negate, cool, thanks.
So in this matchup, I said in the first matchup, I opened with Mechiorp, and I was like, or not Mechiorp, Mechigabora. And I was like, I don't know what to call. Like, I just don't know. So I think right there, I call a 3-drop King Piccolo.
You did, yes.
Yeah. I was like, I guess I call that. Like, I don't know.
I don't even know what's in Bancroft's deck that gets him out of this. Like, we were talking about putting an exploiting weakness in, and that wouldn't have even helped.
Yeah, because that only hits that's 20k, right?
20. So you get to keep your Demigras, you get to keep your Brawlies, you get to keep your Toas. Like,
there's
you
a
get
coward in the deck, but I mean, it only KOs 20Ks or under. It doesn't neg them.
Yeah. I do believe you play Kaioken on me.
Oh, I played this turn. Yeah.
I'm making some magic trades with Jake right there. I'm playing my crop rotation, and I don't remember what I said the crop rotation does.
Isn't it like search a land?
Plays your leader.
It plays your leader in your combo area. I think crop rotation. You sacrifice a land and then you play a land from your deck.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. You can grab like your shock lands with it.
So here I swing into your Demigra. You negate it with what? Protector of the People.
Protector of the People, yeah.
What a cuck.
What?
God, as if you weren't doing enough, you're also going to negate like now.
I don't want him to attack me. I know he's going to get the +5 from Pan, so I just wanted it to be fair.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I'm just trying to get rid of one of them, just to slow it down.
Yeah, like at this point, I think you were just kind of Hail Marrying.
At this point, I think I was just done.
I think if Bancroft can kill one of these Demigroth, we can consider that a victory of kind. Like,
so I could have comboed more, but I chose to go to 30. To get you to get rid of cards in your hand. That's all I was just trying to do.
About to lose that super combo, my dude.
I did have another Dark Aura Deluge in my hand, so I could have just dropped that and picked the Demigra back up from my drop area and then played it to get the next turn.
Okay, it would cost you 2 energy and blah 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 blah. But
2 energy, yeah, there it is. I charged it because I was like, that motherfucker ain't gonna take.
Actually, you said right here, if I'm correct, it was on turn 6. You're like, am I gonna do that? No, I won't do that. I almost charged a super combo.
Yeah. Well, because I was scared that you were actually going to have some sort of removal for my Demigris. So I was like, I don't want to charge the Dark Aura, but I just went ahead and did it because I feel like a super combo is just going to be better.
See, this might be worse. This might be worse than hand control. I mean, I know this is hand control, but at least hand control is like, I can't fuck around. I just got to kill you as fast as possible. Otherwise, like, I run out of stuff too. You're just like, nah, I'm gonna clamp down on that throat, and I'm gonna clinch when I'm ready. Like,
well, I think that's just what you have to do against early aggro. You have to let your opponent get, overextend, and then you can like kind of do exactly what you're saying, like clinch down, like put that lock on, and just don't let them take off.
Yeah, which is what you're doing. I mean, it.
And if they do like somehow recover quickly, if they do have like a draw monkey, then you have the backup Broly's to just start swinging into life and put pressure that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just want to play the long game.
Yeah. And I also think that this really illustrates how much we really need a new Pan reboot. Because like Pan is a fair leader.
Yeah.
It's not overpowered in what it does. It's just a generically decent leader that's incredibly fair. And Dark Broly is probably the furthest thing from fair.
I think the leader doesn't really do anything crazy other than set up your drop area and then have like the weird combo effects.
This is what so now I know for sure I'm standing here because I was so confused.
Well, it's because I was just I wouldn't even say no negate. I would just take the life. But here I was like, wait, hang on. I want to do something.
Yeah, this is where I was watching.
And I'll take the life in a second. I think when you go to swing, or you play a card, I'm like, oh wait, hang on. This is supposed to be my hand.
I think you were too busy explaining what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But to like go back to your point of Pan being fair, like Broly as a leader is not all that strong, but he enables a lot of very strong cards.
Yes.
Pan is just a strong leader that has very little synergy with any other engine.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice being able to get the +5, and that does help out early game because that's basically just free combo.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really enable any engine.
Yeah.
Broly enables the entire Overrealm package and enables the entire Broly package.
It just sucks that I think that you are playing like the one deck that has that turn 2 clapback that clears the whole field and doesn't let him continue that turn-to-turn pressure. I feel like there's a few decks that can do that. I just think the Dark Brawly is really one of those because you have the versatility of being able to go into multiple 6-drops.
And it really sucked getting the bye first round. So that was my first game. I was like, oh, great. Oh.
Well, that'll be the last time you ever have me build a deck.
Might just. All right. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you all enjoy. Yeah. Comment down below any stuff. Jimmy, last words?
If it burns when you pee, we could probably ask for a reboot pan leader.
Probably.
And Fluff.
As always, guys, read your cards, know your plays. Fluff out.